Assalamu alaikum. Suleiman Rahim here, messenger of the covenant, breaker of the seven seals. Sisters and brothers, as I have been saying for years, we're approaching the time of unprecedented trouble. But do we really understand what that means? Unprecedented. That means nothing ever preceded it that was like it. And it says there's never been another time afterwards. In other words, a unique time in history that's unprecedented. So we're going to examine this to some extent today, some detail, to understand, put it in perspective. Because we've had great conflicts in the past, great calamities. And we're going to say that this one that's approaching is worse than ever will be. Excuse me, brothers and sisters. But we're going to go back to the beginning. There's actually no beginning. The universe just continues on forever, like a beating heart. Never started, never stopped. Going forever. Expand and contract, expand and contract, expand and contract. So we're going to go back to the beginning, which is the point where the universe is in full contraction. As the Quran says, the heavens and the earth were one. At that point in time, we're going to start from there. Now, at that point in time, there was no time as we know it. There's two ways to define time. Time is we create time by transforming energy from one form to another. That's the correct idea of time. But you got the chronological idea of time, where you say, okay, you got a clock, and you say 5 minutes, 10 minutes, that kind of stuff, right? A year or whatever. So based on that type of time, we have no idea what was going on back there, because our chronological time is all based on the sun, and there was no sun then. So in the so-called beginning, the universe was totally contracted. All the energy out there was in here. All the energy out there in the universe was here. We were very energetic beings. Nothing like we are now. Maximum energy. As the Quran says, at that point in time, we were made of intense fire. Intense fire. Nothing could stop us. We didn't walk. We could go through solid rock. And we weren't silent. Very loud beings, but very musical beings. Very poetic. We spoke, the vibrations were so beautiful. Right? They could just move solid rock out the way. Beautiful, beautiful people. Very energetic. Nothing compared to where we are right now. And that was the state of affairs. Now, we were at the center of the earth at the time. Right? That was the center. And at the center of the earth, very center of the earth, was Allah. Who is Allah? He's the supreme being. He's the one that all life came from. That unique seed that Elijah Muhammad talked about that gets passed down, it exists right now. That person exists right now. And that unique seed, right, that cannot be destroyed, right, that all life came from. So it gets passed down. So in the very center of the earth, Allah, that was his name, he had built a fortress so powerful that even the angels, all these beings flying around made of fire, couldn't penetrate it. He was inside his fortress. One of the people inside his fortress was the immediate family and those who were loyal to him. He's experimenting. At that time, there was nothing but what they call now gases. It's all fire. Helium, hydrogen, oxygen, it's all fire. If you think oxygen not fire, they take oxygen out of the room and the fire goes out. So it was fueling the fire, oxygen. It's all fire. The atmosphere is made of all these different layers of, and then I call gases, different layers of fire. The most abundant was hydrogen. So this state of affairs went on for a long time. Allah's in the center, he's experimenting with these, what they call now gases, right? These different levels of fire, different intensities of fire, helium, oxygen, so forth, so on. So everybody's happy because, I mean, these beings, no sense of time. Who knows how long they live? Right? And very energetic, very powerful. Billions of them, even trillions, all within the planet Earth. Okay. All surrounding the core. And this could have went on for trillions of years. I don't know. I'm not sure anyone knows. Well, they wouldn't know it in the sense of time, as I mentioned, because there was no sun. So at this point in time, the universe is stable. The outer pressure, which is an inner pressure, they're balanced, stable. The universe is not expanding, it's not contracting, it's stable. And it's perfect. And all the angels are very energetic and very happy, and you can imagine. So when news came out that, well, let's back up a little bit here. In his experimentation, Allah came across water. That was unknown. There was no water in the universe. By combining oxygen and hydrogen, he was able to water. He looked at the properties of water. He thought it very interesting. He thought that we might be more interesting if we had water components to our nature. Because water has so dynamic, there's so many properties in water. It's not fire. Fire is very simple, but water is more complicated. And he saw that and he thought, well, maybe if we adjust ourselves and became, right, incorporate that quality in our nature, that would benefit us and we'd be, we'd be more complex, if you will. Because water has many things you can do in water that water has a lot of capabilities that fire has not. Remember, water is made of fire. Oxygen, hydrogen put together, two fires put together makes water. So he experimented with this. He says, okay, I think I'm going to make a change. So any change is going to upset all the angels because any change means it's a loss for them. Because if they had perfect condition at that time, they had maximum energy, right? Maximum wisdom, maximum everything that was positive. Any change means a loss, some loss to that, some degradation. So when they got news that he was going to expand the universe, start the expansion, because they want to stay like that, stable, no change. The universe stays like that forever. Why not? Beautiful. Any change would means they have less energy. So they didn't like it. They didn't want any change. And they started trying to penetrate Allah's fortress to stop him from his plan on expanding the universe, which Davy calls the Big Bang. And a big conflict occurred. And they were doing everything they could to penetrate that fortress to get the doctor, to get to Allah. But what he did was, remember, these are all beings made of fire. What he did was, is that he combined the oxygen in the atmosphere with hydrogen and produced the first oceans instantly. First oceans, which wiped out all the angels instantly in a blink of an eye. Because water puts out fire. They was all made of fire. They'd never seen water before. They didn't know what it was. Only one knew what water was Allah, and he had small amounts of it from experimentation. But now they had oceans. And the oceans just wiped them out instantly. In a blink of an eye, trillions of them just gone. He said, wow, that was a terrible time. And we talking about great tribulation. Wow, what was that? An instant, gone. And then he proceeded to start acclimating our bodies to water. How long it took, I don't know. Maybe we was taking energy as fire at that time, so we started dropping little bits of water, just tiny bits, not enough to hurt him. Start making adjustment, and over time, right? We start having a fire liquid body. Our bodies right now is not totally liquid, is not totally fire. We breathe oxygen. Oxygen, we require that. That gives us our energy and everything, and that's fire. And then we're water based. So we had a combination of both. He didn't make us all water. He made a combination. He wanted that water property as part of our nature. This process began. Went on for how long, who knows? And that began the process of Dr. Yaqub, as let's tell us, maker, owner, cream of the planet Earth, God of the universe. Cream rises from the bottom, from the center, the top. So we begin to rise, right? Moved out of the fortress into the oceans. We live in the oceans for long periods of time. Who knows? Billions, trillions of years. Gradually moving towards the surface. Eventually, right, we took hydrogen, made our sun is made of hydrogen to warm the surface. And then we finally end up and eventually moved to the surface. Now that first war, the fire war, it was something. It was a heartbeat. Fire war. Next we know about from Elijah Muhammad is the gender wars. Now I'm not going into detail about the gender wars here. Some of you are familiar with it. But the bottom line on that one is that took place in the blink of an eye too. But you had people resisting change. See, in the firewood, they would just expand because that was going to make them weaker. I mean, you can understand where it's coming from. If you start expanding the universe, that's going to make them weaker. It's more energy. You see how we are right now. We just come to a period of energy deprivation. They resisted. They were the jinn of the time. See, jinn is not a people. Jinn represents a resistance nature. So you had these people, right? It came to the point in time we said, see, can we make adjust to our nature according to as we move forward in time. We move forward in time, times change, and we conform, we transform energy from one form to another, but also define ourselves to fit into the reality that we're creating. Everything is totally in sync at all times. So we come to an agenda point, millions of years later, and we decide, okay, we're going to have gender because we're sharing the same body. So it was time for that. We had resistance. And then the result was, as we see the moon and explosion, instantly billions of people lost instantly, just like that. Earth was knocked out of its orbit. I said, wow, that was devastating. That was devastating. And you mean the time that we're going to go through is worse than that? What it says. I mean, how could it be worse than that? They had nuclear weapons back there. Don't listen to stupid Ishmael all the time. They gunpowder. Elijah Muhammad used the term gunpowder because at the time he was teaching that, gunpowder was the most powerful explosion. But if you study the lesson very carefully, there's nuclear explosions in there. So they wasn't using gunpowder. You know how much gunpowder would take to do that job anyway? Take more than there is to flip the whole earth anyway. At any rate, and that was the gender wars. Now we have gender. Two great wars. We have others. We had a war 50,000 years ago, when they disagreed with Allah, or Dr. Shabazz, that was his name at the time. They tried to prevent him from taking the position he was taking as far as this energy deprivation period we was about to go through. They attacked us and forced us out of Arabia. So we covered it with sand because we knew it was going to return. At that time, there were three main tribes. All of them, both of them original. Remember that. The Hindi tribe, that's the tribe Ishmael came from, as his mother came from. And the Levite tribe, that's the tribe that's in below Africa, below Arabia. All original. But we were this we was the main tribe. Right? The tribe of Allah, tribe of Shabazz, primary seed. That was a war. That was a big war. We didn't just walk away. They forced us out. Time of unprecedented trouble. Let's move fast forward up to current times. Now, why would this be called a time of unprecedented trouble? You mean we're going to have, it's going to be nuclear explosions, and they had nuclear explosions back then. That's how I separated the moon. If they did, they blew up the Earth and blew a part of it away. I mean, how could it be worse than happened back then? Well, the difference is that all those things took place in an instant. This time, as Quran, as the Bible teaches us, is going to take place about for a year. It'll take a year for this process to complete. That's why it's unprecedented, because it's going to take about a year, and it's going to be a time of total hell. Total hell for about a year. There's approximately 8 billion people on the planet. They'll be wiped out through war, famine, pestilence, starvation. That's what makes this unprecedented. Because you don't want to go through it. Other one's instant. Angels never knew it hit them. The fire angels never knew it hit them. Water hit them, they was gone. Gender wars, they never hit them, bam. These people will know. Cannibalism will be the name of the game. Children will be gray-headed, as the Quran tells you. They won't go anywhere near their parents because they'll be eaten. They'll be children gangs. They'll be careful of each other, because if they get hungry enough, they'll turn on each other. Going around looking for people to kill, to eat. Unprecedented trouble. I'm not going through all the details. That's what makes it unprecedented. Whole year. Entire year. What's update on that? So I'm going to talk about another thing right now. Not out of place here, but we're at war. It's wartime. I was talking about the first strike 2 weeks ago, and they made their strike, and it was a good one. Almost fatal. They wounded me seriously. So we're going to talk about this time unprecedented trouble from another angle. In each case, each one of these cases, we had the God. He made a decision that people didn't like. They came against him, the resistance. Now, the world right now is under control of religion. Partly, I'm just a little segue here. 35,000 years ago, was already in energy deprivation. But energy deprivation causes children to be deformed. That's why you see in India, you see all these statues with people got 6 arms and all that kind of stuff. That's where that came from. Because that was special. Shiva, I think Shiva had 6 arms, 3 on each side or whatever. Blue segue there. So the world is in total darkness, but it wants to stay that way. And so as the lesson says, it says, the Son of Man is in the center of the earth, experimenting with high explosive. What does that mean? Understand the mathematics of it is that during this time we're under extreme tension, right? Universe maximum expansion, right? Energy deprivation. So Suleiman would be in the worst condition of all the gods before him. Less energy than all before him. Because remember, he got to reverse the whole universe back, bring it back to the beginning again. But it wants to stay like it is. So you got 8 billion resistors. 8 billion resistors. And what his weapon is? The angel. Like I said, that's pressure. Angel's pressure. High pressure destroys low pressure. And that's the war, pressure war. Because breaking those 7 seals, he unleashed that pressure against 8 billion vectors of lower pressure. And like I said, just like the angels had no idea about water and water, these people, they think they can stop lower pressure. High pressure cannot do it. If there ain't anything about pressure, if you take just a gallon of high pressure and throw it into a lake, it's going to, the waves are going to move away from it because it's pushing the lower pressure away. It's not the opposite. Because high pressure, no matter how much it is, you throw it in the ocean. If you throw it in the ocean, it's still going to make the water move away from it. Because no matter how much lower pressure you have, right, how little high pressure you have, high pressure always destroy low pressure, no matter how much low pressure you have. So right now we got low pressure mind, 8 billion strong. And we got Suleiman with the angel. High pressure, high pressure. Suleiman in the center of the earth, which is America, the center of the earth, the worst part of planet Earth, right? In the worst condition ever. Experiment high explosive. What's high explosive? The angel. Like Allah in the beginning was experimenting with what we call gases now, chemical water. Experiment high explosive, this angel. And it's going to blow away all this world, all of it. Nothing they can do to stop it. They think they can. Wipe them all out. That gets us to Daniel. Then Daniel tells us there was a stone that was cut out of a mountain without hands. And they think that's some kind of mountain that without hands because God had doing it, whatever. No, if you read the statue, it's anatomically correct, except it has no hands. What are they talking about? And the gold, that's that little remnant, right? that's going to take and says going to fall and crush the ruling powers right now, the nation that's in control, and take out, in the process of doing that, take out all of them all together, all of them, crush them all. That's what high pressure does, crushes lower pressure. So here we have it. See, look, pay attention. There's stone, boom. Take out Gog, Magog, right? Death in Hades, which is China and India. In the process of doing all that, all the nations, all of them, they're all crushed. And then so that stone will go and fill the whole earth. That's you, brothers and sisters, you and your warriors out there. That's what that's talking about. That's what's going on. Angel released that power, the truth, pressure, higher pressure than they have, because they're lower pressure. They're not mathematically, the angels are mathematically based. They're not mathematical thinkers. Resistors are not mathematical thinkers. Anyone that resists the angel will be crushed. Anyone that resists the angel will be crushed. Anyone that resists the angel will be crushed. By a little stone. And the angel, it says, look, it comes down to 144,000. Not many. You understand that, brothers and sisters. Understand what we're dealing with. So right here in total darkness, total triple darkness with angel, and it's crushing our enemies now. You may not realize it, but it is. And it becomes, as the pressure increases, the resistance will increase. Until we hit the abomination of desolation, that's when Master Muhammad releases, takes out false Israel, which is the cornerstone of this reality. That headwind is removed, and all hell breaks loose. A year. And we will do to them as they did to us. It says, as you have done, it shall be done to you. If you go to Farrakhan's propaganda little stations, just try one of them. Go, he says, his so-called, what do you call them, study groups, the indoctrination centers. You go there, and they give you a script, and everybody's got to pass it. No discussion whatsoever. You pass around a script that he says, and you got to just repeat it. It's indoctrination. He's got more indoctrinated over there. And one of the things he was saying, well, we can't treat them like they treat us, because he always slants everything towards masses. So everything is towards mass benefit. Oh, no, we got to stay here. See? Mass benefit. Because if you don't realize you have an option, then you're going to do what master tell you. You're going to stay on the plantation. That's the whole thing they had back when you was in chain slavery, so to speak. They made you think there was no other place. The plantation, all you had. So where was you going to run to? That means you might make the best of it. Be the best slave you could be. And that's what they're trying to do right now. Make you think America is it. There's nothing else. So if that's the case, unless you're ignorant, totally stupid, then you're going to make the best of America. You can try to be the best America you can be. You can be successful. If they have you believe in it, that's your only choice. That's why the messenger of the covenant had to come tell you, no. That's not the only choice. We can get the hell out of here. We got a land prepared for us. But they have our people thinking this is the only choice. And it's not true. Now, if they've made their first strike, now it's time to strike back. If we strike back, it's going to be devastating. And as they have done, so should be done to them. Everything they did to us, we're going to do to them. So you listen to Farrakhan and all the clowns, because we done to them too, because they're part of this. That's why that's their trouble caused dead of the Lord. It says last about a year. It's so devastating. You won't be sitting around watching TV. You're going to be cold. The weather's going to be out of control. Freezing one day, hot the next day, sleet the next day, hail, hungry, starvation, being under attack. And this is Suleiman's war. No, you got the two gods. But this is Suleiman's war. It tells you, it says, these 10 kings, who are the 10 kings? The 10 kings there are Death and Hades, or China and India, combined with the Levites, right? The rebellious ones, right, from Africa, non-Islamic ones, but primarily primarily in India. It says these 10 kings will make war with the Lamb, and the Lamb shall overcome them. Because remember, in chapter 20, that's the last war. Wipe them out, and there's no more. Then you have a new, bring a new heavens, new earth. That's for Muhammad's job. He's bringing in the new everything. He's a made God. Don't forget that. But it's our God, and we love him, right? And we support him in every way. But that's the case. So it says, these 10 kings will make war with the Lamb, and the Lamb overcome them. No Lamb. These 10 kings, remember. Who these 10 kings, remember? Who does these 10 kings represent? 200 million man army. This is the war, brothers and sisters. It's like Allah, when he went to war, those angels were trillions of them. Him and his family, just them, he wiped them all out just by combining oxygen and hydrogen, producing water, wiped them out in an instant. Suleiman's going to take his time on this one, because what the things they did to us, he's going to take his time on this one. He ain't going to let them off with like a instant destruction. Take a whole year. And we'll touch every town, like the Quran says, touch every person. Anyone opposed to the angel will be destroyed, crushed. Crushed. 8 billion crushed. Now, there will be some female demons that will make it into the hereafter. Talked about that. If they can obey laws and everything, but they will not be a part of your inheritance. They will come in as servants. See the Abraham, you paid the price, no one's going to steal your inheritance. Not any part of it. Hope you understand, brothers and sisters. They made their first strike. They're about to return the favor. Because remember, Joshua's soldiers went to war with Aaron's soldiers. There was a war there. and all the Iron soldiers was wiped out, families and everything else. I'm unprecedented trouble. So keep up the good work, brothers and sisters. Worry about anything. Because every time you get out there and start shooting those vectors, remember, your vectors are atoms, ATTOMs, explosive. Theirs are like sledgehammers or something. They may have 8 billion. You may have a couple, a few. But if you understand pressure, I keep teaching you about pressure, it doesn't matter. You have a trillion, be a trillion of them out there. It's going to be one of us with the angel, high pressure, and it will move them away. You drop in the ocean, the water waves move away, pushing them away. The engine's already been ignited. It's pushing them away. There hasn't been any challenges to it. Tell me anyone who's been able to challenge it. They don't. They go personal and everything else. They can't challenge it. They just get out of the way. They can't challenge it. That's a problem for them right there. Pretty soon, like I said, moves to the next level. That's why Muhammad's about to take to the next level, taking out false Israel. Okay, brothers and sisters, I think that's enough for today. I'm still recuperating, so maybe I should just relax a little bit. Hope you understand, brothers and sisters, wartime, we're at war. Nobody should understand it better than me, but they're attacking me full blast. That's why Muhammad allowed me to take the full blast to let me know the power, let me feel the power of the enemy, let me know that I could handle it. You get in the ring with someone, right? You don't know how powerful they are. See? He just hit that right hook, bam. Now they throw all their power in that right hand and don't knock you out. You say, hey, I can handle this. But see, you got to feel it. You got to feel that punch. So much power, how powerful they are. Because you can't just look at them. If you survive their most devastating punch, that right hook or whatever their most powerful punch is, then you know you can win. But they threw their most powerful punch and they couldn't take you out. They may have knocked you down, but they couldn't take you out with it. So they have nothing more powerful than that. That means all you got to do is hang in there because they threw the most powerful punch and it didn't knock you, it didn't take you out. They threw the most powerful punch at me and believe me, it was powerful. You don't have anything more powerful than that. So Master Muhammad allowed me to take the full force to let me know, feel it. Threw that right hook and it hurt. It knocked me down. I got back up. I know I don't have anything more powerful than that. So now I know their power. See, once you get in the ring with someone and they hit you hard as they can, there's two things happening there, right? One is they transfer information to you. They just told you how powerful they are. The other thing is your ability to withstand their power. Two pieces of information right there that benefits you. So they told me how powerful they are. They told me I'm strong enough to withstand their power. Understand, brothers and sisters? Hope you understand. I think we're going to leave it there. Assalamu alaikum.